Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I'm going to bring you my go-to Summit Legendary Floors Sniper build. Now, like I said in a previous video, I don't think you can really say that one build is perfect for all of Summit, because there's a vast amount of variation and different difficulties and directives and floors and everything, but for floors 80 to 100, even with the 3 directives, this is the build I've been going to the most for DPS and specifically sniping, because usually if you're in a group of 3 or 4 on a team, there's usually one sniper. That's just kind of how a lot of people have been running it, and especially Headhunter is what's going to allow you to push through a lot of ads very quickly and very hard, because you can one-shot those golds, you can one-shot the chains and backpacks on heavies, you can break through dog's armor. It's very useful, and the way I have it set up, I'm not just fully spec'd into sniping, I can also have a very, defensive mechanism and tool at my disposal, so we're going to get into all of that. I prompted if you guys wanted to see this build video the other day on my Summit review, and some of you said you did, so hopefully this helps out, and hopefully you can get to making this and getting through those legendary floors. Let's get right to it, guys. Alright, so jumping right to it, this is the build. I'm not using a Nemesis, and a lot of people on that 100th floor when you're fighting that whole group, if you're shooting them through the glass, as well as when you fight the hunters, a lot of people use a Nemesis to get that maximum amount of damage output. I've opted to use the Regulus and the Dodge City holster as a nice combination to have a secondary tool to use if I get pushed by whether it's just a random ad, a red veteran or gold. I can even one-shot a gold to the head if I, time it right with the Regulus and the maximum Dodge City stack. It's a really nice thing to have. If you don't want that, you can of course opt out of it and go for the Nemesis alongside another sniper or instead of what I'm using the White Death for. And so there's a lot of options, right? This is how I'm using it, and this is how I've been able to perform at the level that I want to do. And so let's go through my setup. I'm using the White Death, like I said. Headshot damage is the name of the game here. Before I go through it all, let's just see how much headshot damage I'm actually achieving. 335.2%. That's a lot of headshot damage. So let's see where that's all coming from, because that's what I'm speccing to the most. I only have 27 crit chance and 84 crit damage. It's all about the headshots here and all about proccing that Headhunter so I can keep tapping as one shot, one shot, one shot if I can line my shots up correctly. I have the White Death, which gives you more than the maximum amount of regular headshot damage. It's a named, what do they call them? Carbine, M44, whatever. It's the name version of that, and it comes with more than optimal headshot damage. I've got a pretty good damage roll. For the attribute, you could go for something other than damage charred out cover, even though that's generally considered the best attribute on a lot of guns, because legendary ads are going to sit in cover a lot of the time. I still find it to be very useful against dogs and other sorts of things, but you could of course go for more crit if you want that, whatever you want there. For the talent, I choose Optimist. I really liked Optimist on these types of snipers because every time I shoot one bullet, the next one's going to do 6% more damage. And then after that, 12, 18, etc., because it's taking away 20% of the mag each time I shoot one. I really like it. If you want to go for something else, you can, but there's not a ton of good options for these. So yeah, Optimist would be my recommendation. For the mods, because I have the Sharpshooter, I'm getting the digital scope for the maximum amount of headshot damage at 45%. That does give me a 5% crit damage reduction, but like I said, I'm not going for crit at all, so that's that. I have the 5% weapon damage mag there. It's a really good one for snipers. I recommend it. And then just a crit chance side attachment because accuracy and stability mean nothing on these. For my secondary, I have a FAMAS. You can use whatever you want here. In some of my clips, I think I have an SMG that I was using. Whatever you feel most comfortable with. I like the FAMAS because having some sort of automatic as a secondary if you get pulled up on by a red shotgunner, for example, whatever. It's nice to have an automatic, and FAMASs in general are one of the best ARs. They do a lot of damage, so that's just what I've chosen to do there, but of course, do whatever you want. Then for my pistol, like I was saying, I have the Regulus, and this pairs very well with the Dodge City holster, which we will get to in a second. If you don't know what the Regulus does, you get it from the Iron Horse raid for completing it. You get the quest, all of that, so there are guides on that if you want to look up how to get it. But for my attributes, of course, it just has pistol damage, headshot damage as it comes with. And then Regicide is that headshot kills create a 5-meter explosion, dealing 400% weapon damage and applying bleed to all enemies hit. You're not necessarily going to proc this every time you get a kill with this thing or even use it with the Dodge City, but the reason why the Regulus is pretty much the best choice here is because its base damage is I think the highest amount of damage you get on a pistol, period. So it's a very good choice. And so let's just go straight to the Dodge City so I can explain how that works if you don't know. Here's how the tunnel works. When your pistol is holstered, gain a stacking buff every 0.3 seconds up to 100. When you swap to it, your first shot consumes the buff and deals 10% damage per stack. This deals headshot damage to anywhere you hit. So if your pistol is holstered for a full 30 seconds, you're sniping away during that time, then you'll see on your bar that you have a full stack of this pistol buff ready to use. So when you bring out your pistol then, the first shot you hit, so even if you miss, it's going to take this away. So you want to make sure you're accurate with this shot, make sure you're sure that it's going to land on the enemy. it's going to deal 1,000% more damage, which is crazy. This can one-shot red mini tanks if they're even at like full health. I have some clips of it doing that. You can use it if you've been pulled up on by an ad and you don't have any other measures to take care of them. You could just one-shot him and forget about him. You can take down a Heavy's chain, its backpack. There are a lot of options for what you could do with this basically little hand cannon every 30 seconds. It's a really nice option. I really like it. It gives a lot of utility to the build, and so I recommend doing it. Try it out, see what you can do with it, because it gives you a lot of options, like I said, to take care of those unpredictable scenarios. But now let's circle back and see how I'm getting all of this headshot damage on the build. I'm using the Punch Drunk Mask, which is DNH brand, gives you 20% pistol damage, buffs up that regular shot again, but beyond that, the attribute it comes with, the special one, is 20% headshot damage, which again is just getting me up to that 335% threshold. I have weapon damage, that, and then crit damage, and then a 10% headshot damage mod. If you're going full headshot like I am on this, then you're going to want headshot damage mods on every piece. So the 3 mod slots, all headshot damage. Forget about the crit. It's all about the headshots on this as you're stacking it with Headhunter. As you can see on here, the chain killer named Walker and Harris chest piece with perfect Headhunter. The brand bonus is, of course, 5% weapon damage, which only helps you. Weapon damage, headshot damage rolled, crit chance, and then another headshot damage mod. Headhunter is basically the name of the game. This is how we're going to one-shot all of those purples and elites. So the best way to use this is to go into a room, you get a one-shot headshot kill on a red ad because it can do it regardless. You don't need any kind of buff for that. And then you start chaining that off of the purples and elites, and then the heavies if you need to. Basically, once you have the Headhunter proc, you can use it to do a ton of damage on one thing, kind of similar to the Dodge City and the Regulus. You have like these 2 massive shots that you can deal. And so even if I have a Headhunter proc, sometimes I'll use it just to break a dog's armor so that my team can push through and take it out. I should mention, if you don't know what Headhunter does, basically when you kill an enemy with a headshot, the next weapon hit within 30 seconds will deal a ton more damage. There's a lot of math there. I'm not going to go through it all. It deals a lot more damage, like, several times more than you would be able to. Meaning with a regular old, White Death named M44 carbine, I can one-shot elites on legendary. It's pretty nice. So you want to get used to that chain of killing headshot loops over and over. That way you're going to be able to get the most amount of potential out of this possible and deal all of that insane damage. Moving on to my backpack, I have 1 piece of Providence for the 15% headshot damage. We have weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage because this is the named gift, which comes with the perfect vigilance talent. Increases total weapon damage by 25%. Taking damage disables this buff for 3 seconds. Pretty self-explanatory. Vigilance is pretty much the go-to talent, I'd say. You could run concussion if you want to really amp up that headshot amount, but vigilance is just too good to pass up, in my opinion. 25% is a lot, and, everyone runs it. It's pretty much just a go-to, especially since it's on Providence. You get that headshot damage buff. It's pretty much a must-have. Moving on, I have 2 pieces of Araldi, which total are giving me 10% marksman rifle damage and 15% headshot damage. Pretty self-explanatory there. On these gloves, I have weapon damage, crit damage, and headshot damage rolled again. And then for the knee pad, same deal, weapon damage, headshot damage, and crit damage. There's not too much else to mention here. Of course, the specialization is going to be the sharpshooter because you get that headshot damage scope, which gives you 10% more than the maximum is on anything else. You get the extra headshot damage perk in the tree. There's basically no other option here besides the sharpshooter, in my opinion, if you're going for this full headshot build. So that's what you want there. And then for my skills, I'm just wearing a decoy, which is obviously very nice on the sniper set to be able to divert the attention to somewhere else. If you don't like the Regulus, you could also go, instead of the Nemesis, you could go for the Mantis since you're using the decoy. I just like this setup. Like I said, this is how I like to run it, but experiment around if you want to try other things. And then, of course, I just have a Reviver Hive because it is legendary because you're constantly going down. This is just a very nice thing to have for your team, so you try not to wipe and reset a certain number of floors down. And there you have it, guys. That is my sniper setup for the legendary difficulty of Summit. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I will play some more clips after this of kind of how it's been performing in there, some one-shots on the dogs, all that kind of stuff so you can see it. I might have dispersed some throughout when I was talking there, but I'll play some more at the end so you can get a real sense of how it works out. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Head down to the comments and let me know your thoughts on my setup, if there's anything you would change or you've been running differently and it's been working out well for you. I'd love to hear those different perspectives and ideas on what could work well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the footage. Have a great day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.